Hello students, today we will discuss an important topic which is animal tissue. Animal tissue, as we know, the study of tissue is known as histology. So we had already discussed about the plant tissues and now we are proceeding with the topic animal tissue. So before studying different types of animal tissues, it is important and it will be easy to make the framework, or we should see the classification of animal tissue. This classification is basically based on its structure, function and location. So let's see how the animal tissues are classified. It is the animal tissue. Basically, it is of four types: epithelial tissue, connective tissue, muscular tissue or muscles tissue, and the neural tissue. Then the epithelial tissue. Epithelial means the upper portion. Okay, they are the covering tissue, or they are the protecting tissue. Then the connective. These type of tissue are especially located and their function is basically to join two different organs, or you can see two different parts of the body. Then the muscular tissues. Muscular tissues, wherever the muscular work we need, there is a presence of muscular tissue. It is of basically three types: striated, which is your skeletal tissue; non-striated, which is smooth tissues; and then the cardiac tissue. It is a special type of tissue which we find in the hearts and organ, which is very important, heart. And then the neural tissue. The whole coordination of the locomotion and movement and other whole, you can say, the function of body is controlled under the nervous system, and it is basically made up of the nerve cell and the neuroglia. Now let's see the epithelial tissue. Epithelial tissues are classified on the basis of their function. They are classified as it is covering, it is glandular. So they are of two types: covering epithelial tissue and the glandular epithelial tissue. Then covering epithelial tissues are basically of two types: simple epithelial tissue and the compound epithelial tissues. I am saying that covering and glandular means these epithelial tissue may function as the glands which secretes the chemicals, either it can be endocrine or exocrine. And then the covering means they cover the body parts, either internal or external. They are of two types: simple and compound. Then the connective tissue, as we had talked, they help to connect the body parts. Okay, so these are of three types: loose connective tissue, dense connective tissue and specialized connective tissue. Loose connective tissues are areolar and adipose type. Then the dense connective tissue, they can be of two types: regular, irregular. And then the regular dense connective tissues are of two types: tendon and ligament. And here the specialized connective tissue: cartilage, bone and the blood. So it was the simple framework which make us or make our study easy about the study of animal tissue. In this class, we will just discuss the epithelial tissue, and which is the covering epithelial tissue, because the epithelial tissue is itself a very large topic. So we will cover it in two parts. First, we will cover the covering tissue, and in the next part we will cover the glandular tissue, and gradually we will cover the other type of tissues, which will be muscular, and here the connective and the neural tissue. So let's start our study with the epithelial tissue. So we can see, as I have told, there are some special characteristics of epithelial tissue. First, the important thing that the epithelial term was given by the Ruisch. F. Ruisch has given this term. Epi means, as I have told, upper. The most important thing about epithelial tissue is, we will just study about this in a you will see in a pointwise manner. Okay, epithelial tissue a special characteristic that its one face is free face. Okay, this is very important thing. Means they have a free face. Either they will face the internal environment of body, internal body parts or body, and the second it is external or the outside the body, outside body. Okay, outside body means they are exposed to environment, exposed to environment. Okay, means this is spatial, these epithelial tissue are just covering tissue. How? If they cover the outside body parts, then it will face the external environment. This point will be justified. If the internal organ is having the cover of epithelial tissue, only then it will face the internal environment. Okay, means the internal environment of body. So they are just either they cover the outer part of the body or they cover the internal organ of the body. So it was the first thing. They are the covering means they are just a sheet like structure, sheet like structure. And why this structure is important? Because it acts as a protective part or protective covering, protective covering. Then the second thing about these tissues, especially about the epithelial tissues, that they are joined with so many junctions. Okay, these junctions of can be of different type, like tight junction, adhering junction. About the junction we will discuss in our later class in a elaborated way. So here the just term you should note that there are the junction which help, and on the basis of their function these junction of different type or of different type, and junctions helps the tissues to connect, means they are just acting like a cementing material. They help to join the different types of tissues or the same type of tissue cells. Okay, so then the third point about this, a very important, that at the base part of the, means the lowermost part of the epithelial tissue, there is a non-cellular, please pay attention here, non-cellular basement membrane. Okay, there is a membrane. This is non-cellular, means acellular, it is not a cellular structure. So what is actually going on here? Epithelial tissue, epithelial tissue, then in between basement membrane, and here there will be connective tissue. Then you can just see this basement membrane help to separate the epithelial and connective tissues with each other. Okay, then second thing, as the basement membrane is non-cellular and you are just watching, connective tissue is vascular one, means they have the blood supply, but the epithelial tissue, they don't have blood supply, they are the avascular part. Okay, epithelials are avascular. So if they are avascular, then how they get nutrition? They get nutrition from the blood supply of connective tissue through diffusion of nutrients. Okay, if there will be the nutrient, then it will just diffuse to the epithelial tissue and they will absorb it. Okay, because the epithelial tissues are avascular, they don't have the blood supply, means our just upper layer, that this epithelial don't have the blood supply. They get nutrition from the connective tissue through the diffusion, and the connective tissue and epithelial tissues are separated with each other by the basement membrane. This basement membrane is acellular, means it is not the cellular structure. These were the important points about the epithelial tissue. Now the next point about the epithelial tissue, there may be many modification of the epithelial tissue. Let's see what can be the modification. Means there can be extension of cellular processes. So let's see the modification in epithelial tissue. So we are just watching this on the basis of cellular process or cell extension. It can be of three types. It can be microvilli, then it can be stereocilia, or it can be of gynoecilia. Cilia, you are getting this term, means there is a cellular extension. Now if I am talking about the microvilli, in microvilli there is a small cellular extension, as we know in the small intestine. Okay, you have seen that a small cellular extension that is known as microvilli. It is a special characteristic of small intestine. What does it do? Due to this small extension, surface area increases and the rate of absorption also increases, means the efficiency of absorption increases. In case of the stereocilia, there is also cellular extension, but these cellular extension are unusual type, means some of them can be of large size, some of them can be of small size, and very important, they are stereo. They don't so much move. They are stereo, means they used to be first thing, their size is very unusual. They can be of a large size. Okay, and they don't actually move. They don't help to move, but they help in other functions. And then the gynoecilia. Gyno means the kinetics, means these type of cellular extension in the epithelial cells help in movement of the product passing through it, or overall it help in the, or it provide the locomotion to this, or not only the it provide the locomotion to substance passing through its way. Okay, so it was about the modification of the epithelial cell. Now the fourth we have discussed. Now the fifth important point about the epithelial cells, either they are exposing the external environment or facing the external environment, or they are exposed to the internal environment. Okay, they continuously have to face the wear and tear. Okay, so these are meant especially for protecting the other part of the cell. So what they do, they quickly, or we can say they used to get replaced by another epithelial cell very frequently. Okay, so they had just, you can say, they got the way to save them. They get replaced. The cell, the epithelial tissue which has faced the wear and tear, now it is just about to die, it will get replaced by new epithelial cell, and which is formed by the reproduction. Okay, or cell division of that particular cell of epithelial tissue. Then the fifth point, it was the fifth, now the sixth point, if we talk about the function of epithelial cells, so there are so many functions. Let's see. First, they are providing, if we talk about the function, what is the function of epithelial tissue? The first function is to provide physical support. Second, they provide protection. Third, as we have talked, they can be of glandular type, so they help in secretion. Okay, then the fourth, they help in permeability. permeability means which product should go out from the epithelial cells or from the body, or which product should not. It is decided by the epithelial cells, so they control the materials, it's outgoing or incoming, means they help in the permeability, or they help in, or they control the permeability of the whole body parts. And then the fifth point, they also help in sensation, because so many sensory cells are present there in this epithelial cell, which help to receive the or which help to receive and respond toward the external or internal stimuli. So it was about the function and special characteristic of the epithelial tissue. Now let's see different types of epithelial tissue. As we have seen that the epithelial tissue, on the basis of their location and main function, there are of two types, covering and glandular. Today we will see the covering tissues. Covering tissue can be of two types, simple and compound. What is the basis of this simple and compound? In case of the simple, it is only of single layer. But the compound, it is of many layer. First thing. Okay, then second thing, this is mainly meant for protection. Okay, here it is limited to secretion. It is mainly meant for secretion. Okay, so now the most important is the how the simple epithelial tissues are classified. Let's see this. One more thing, that you will get different types and some additional points in this classification of epithelial tissue, because this is this used to vary from one book to another book, but the main concept behind the classification of simple epithelial tissue is same. So let's focus on that, and we should focus the types mainly. Okay, so let's see what are the different simple epithelial tissues. So the simple epithelial tissue, simple epithelium. After this we will see the overall chart also, so that our study will help, or it will help us to summarize the whole study. Okay, so let's see the simple epithelial tissue. It is mainly of three types. First, it is simple squamous. Okay, second, it is cuboidal, and the third, it is columnar epithelial tissue. Let me tell you the different structure. Its structure is different. The squamous epithelial, it is just you will see the two-dimensional structure, means they don't have so much thickness. Okay, they are the thin, and its structure you will just see like this. And as they don't have, these cells don't have so much thickness, and all the one more thing I had just forget to tell about the epithelial tissue, that in the epithelial tissue the intercellular space is very less. Their matrix is very less, means they are connected, they are very close to each other. Because of this, they make the protective covering or protective sheet on the organs. Okay, so I am just making these. This is the nucleus. Okay, and these are the squamous cells. They are actually, I am making this type of structure because they are variable in shape, so we call it, they are polygonal, and they are also known as the pavement tissue. Why it is pavement tissue? As you have seen in the tiles, they are attached with each other without having the very less means the space between them. In the same way, these are attached with each other, having a very less intercellular matrix. So this is the main thing, or this is a structure. and you will find it in different organs. Some very important we used to do the practical also. This cheek cell inside our cheek, you will say that in the cheeks you will see that the cell when we just scare it from inside part of the cheeks, and when we stain it and observe it, you will see the same structure. You have to stain it with the methylene blue and you will see there is a structure like this with the nucleus at the center. So then the cuboidal I am saying that cube means these cells have the length and breadth, means the height and breadth is approximate as we. So what is the structure? If you observe it from here, you will see the structure like this. Clear? The structure is like this, and as it is not like this, it is the two-dimensional structure, but it is the three-dimensional structure. So it is a cube-like structure having the nucleus at the center. Okay, then the third, columnar epithelium, in which the height is more than the breadth. Here the structure is this, in this way. Okay, and the important thing in the columnar epithelium tissue is that their nucleus lies at the base. The main difference between the cuboidal and columnar is this, that the nucleus of the columnar epithelial you will see at the base, but in case of the cuboidal it is at the center. So let's see what are the different location of these tissues where we will find these squamous, cuboidal and columnar epithelium. Let's say this one. I have written the example so that I can save my time. So let's recall this one. Squamous, as it is the two-dimensional structure, means it is a flat structure. Okay, and we have seen that it is polygonal. Nucleus lies at the center. Their main function is the protection. So there are some example: line of heart, blood vessels, lymph vessels, which we also call the endothelium. Then the alveoli lining and the oesophagus. You will find the squamous epithelial tissues. Then the cuboidal, we have seen it as a cube structure. Cube shaped structure means it is a three-dimensional structure. The nucleus is rounded, present at the center of the cuboidal tissue, which is the cube shape, and we will find it here in nephrons, salivary gland and pancreas. You can see that what is the main function? Its main function is secretion, absorption and excretion. Okay, it is the main function of cuboidal epithelial tissues. Then the columnar, as we have talked here, the height is more than its breadth. It means it is just like pillar. So it is pillar-like structure, and the nucleus lies at the base. You can see more toward the base. Okay, its main function its main function is the help in movement of the product passing through its passage. Okay, because of this they have some modifications also, which we'll see. They used to be ciliated columnar. So let's see where they will find stomach lining. In the intestine we will find it. And there is one more example, which is the goblet cell. These are the epithelial tissues or epithelial cells which are scattered. Okay, and they help in releasing the mucus. They are the mucus secreting cells. It is a type of epithelial tissues, and they are scattered in the respiratory tract, and you will see here in the esophagus lining. And then if the columnar epithelial tissue is having modification of cilia, then we will call it, here I am just making this one, ciliated columnar epithelium. In these ciliated columnar epithelial, there is an extension of cell which is known as cilia. These cilia help in movement. Okay, these cilia help in movement of the particles. So we need this type of support, or this type of you will see the facilitated movement in case of fallopian tube. So you will find it in case of the fallopian tube, and also in case of the you will find in respiratory portion also. Okay, then one more, as we have seen the goblet cells, you will find in the GI, near the GI tract. Okay, gastrointestinal tract, you will find the scattered epithelial cells which help in secretion of the mucus. So it was about the simple epithelial tissues without having modification. Now let's see if there is any modification. Okay, so as we have seen the simple epithelium. Okay, now let's see the compound epithelium. One thing I had just taken, or just by mistake I had just reversed the importance or function of these. Let's see it again. In case of the simple epithelial tissue, its main function is secretory and absorptive. Okay, and I had told you protective. It was just by mistake I had just told the reverse one. The protective function is mainly of compound epithelial tissue. It is of many layer, and if the cell is exposed to so much of chemical and mechanical stress, then it is protected by the compound epithelial tissues. Okay, so compound epithelial tissue is meant for the protection, and the simple epithelial tissue is meant for the secretion, absorption, accretion, as we have seen in the simple epithelial and means the cuboidal and columnar, as we have seen. Okay, so now let's see the compound epithelial tissue. What is the compound epithelial tissue? It is the like epithelial tissue, but it is having many layers. This can be of different type. Let's see what. First, it is known as the stratified epithelial tissue. What is this stratified means? Strata means the layer. If any tissue having the layers, okay, first suppose this is the one layer, then the second layer of this flat, then the I am saying that it is flat because I am talking about mainly stratified squamous epithelial tissue. The most important one in the stratified is the stratified squamous epithelial tissue. So the flat cells, these flat cells are one above another, so they make so many layers. Okay, now these stratified squamous epithelial tissues can be of two types. It can be of keratinized or it can be of non-keratinized. If the cell is exposed to the external environment, suppose we are like this, these skin layer, okay, they have to expose the wear and tear, also the dry environment. So their water content is very less, so they used to be you will see that they are the dead cells, and they have the protein found in this type of tissue. That protein is known as a keratin protein. Because of presence of this keratin protein, they are known as a keratinized squamous, stratified squamous epithelial tissues. Why it is stratified? Because the squamous epithelial is having the many layers or many sheets over each other. Then these example of these are hair, nails. These are the stratified squamous keratinized tissues. Then come to the non-keratinized. If the same thing is here, but if the epithelial tissue means the stratified epithelial tissue is exposed to the internal environment, means to the covering of the internal organ, then they don't have the dry environment. Okay, so they don't need the keratin, and because there is absence of keratin, so it is known as a non-keratinized stratified squamous epithelial tissues. Okay, so the second is non-keratinized stratified squamous epithelial tissue. They exposed to wear and tear, but they don't have the dry environment. Example, or oral cavity, hold the oesophagus, then the vaginal region, conjunctiva of eye. These are all the example of non-keratinized stratified squamous epithelial tissue. Okay, then come to the transitional epithelial tissue. It is the situation between the spatial or the you will say simple cuboidal and the columnar. It is the situation between these two, or it is, so we call it transition. It is a transition stage between the cuboidal and the columnar epithelial tissue. Okay, and they are mainly meant for the stretching. If any part of body which need the you will see which need the stretching at the time of requirement, then there you will find this transition epithelial tissue. For example, in case of the urinary bladder, when the urine is not there, their size is small, but if the urine filled in there, then the size of urinary bladder gradually increases, and it can increase to 2 to 3 times more than it. Okay, so it is the transition epithelium tissue. And when it is not stretched, in the normal condition, it look like that it is made up of the 4 to 5 layer, but when it is stretched completely, their cells are so large, and you will find that this 4 to 5 it actually of only 2 to 3 layers. Okay, so it was a transitional epithelial tissues, and it is mainly for the stretching organs, for example urinary tract or the urinary bladder. Then the last, it is pseudo stratified. Actually it is not stratified. Okay, means it don't have the layer. It is pseudo, it look like stratified. How? Because the size of cell is like this. Means as the nucleus lies at the center, so its nucleus will be here, its nucleus will be here. If it is more larger than, then on the basis of nucleus you will it look like they have the many strata, but actually it has only one strata or one layer. So we call it pseudo, means the false appearance it just give. So false stratified epithelial tissue, and it is, you will find it near the trachea, in the trachea, bronchi and eustachian tube. So it was the main thing, or you will see, if I want to cover the whole topic in the simple one class, it is very difficult. So I had just covered the epithelial tissue, which is covering epithelial tissue. In my next class, which will be even shorter, but we will cover the junction and the glandular epithelial tissue. So it was all about this. Hopefully this will help you to study the animal tissue. If you have any query, you can ask your question, or you can write your comment in the comment box. Thank you very much.